Hello everybody and welcome back to our Fast Fact series. I'm Ted, your host, and for this Fast Fact we're going to look at the Axis powers. So now the Axis powers, the powers of Imperial Japan, Nazi Germany, Fascist Italy, generally considered to be a unified effort, a sort of a coalescing of global desires and ideas by the three different powers, the three different leaders, the three different political governments, these governments. That couldn't be farther from the truth. The Axis powers were really a group united in name only. They did not have one primary goal, one primary function, and their ideologies sharply conflicted with each other. They all sort of favored this racial eugenics superiority idea. The Japanese believed that they were racially, ethnically superior. So too did the fascists in Italy, and of course we all know that according to Nazi ideology, the Aryans were the most superior people on the planet, and everybody else was a scrub race. So there was not this very coherent ideology. What they were a group of powers looking to make foreign conquests and to aggrandize themselves. The hope was that by signing the tripartite pact, which was a defense agreement, that if one power was attacked by a neutral power, all the other powers would join in a war against that power. The hope and the feeling was that if such an event occurred, if one of them was attacked, the other would come to war, and it would sort of serve as a has a very powerful threat to cow other powers into not challenging them, into not appeasing them, to not stand in their way had they made the conquest. But other than that, they pursued very, very different domestic and foreign policies. For example, Hitler was certainly never informed of the Japanese intention to invade Manchuria. Likewise, Hitler did not inform anybody of his intention to invade either Czechoslovakia, to make a pact with the Nazis, the famous Nazi-Soviet pact, nor did Hitler inform anybody of his intentions to invade Czechoslovakia or to go about the onslaught with Austria. The Italian, for their part, Benito Mussolini, he never informed any of those powers of his intentions to invade Ethiopia, of his intentions to conquer British and French-held North Africa, to go after Algeria and Egypt. The powers simply did their own affairs, and they simply they simply went about doing conducting their own affairs while hinging or relying on the threat of having to face all the powers at war. And certainly the biggest bluff of all was whether or not Hitler would actually support his allies. And as far as war goes, this was the only time in which he kept any sort of agreements. There was no real reason for him to go into North Africa and to send Rommel into Africa, North Africa, to help the Italians hold on to their conquest. Certainly, I don't think that he ever expected either the other power to embark on military campaigns of their own. But that was a surprise, and also the declaration of war against the United States in the wake of the Pearl Harbor attack. It was he had not kept any previous international agreements. He had made peace with the Soviets, and yet he attacked the Soviets. So it was a very confusing mix of the powers. Quick video on the Axis powers and the very confusing nature of that alliance. Hit like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you thought about this video. And of course, I'm Ted, and I will see you guys next time for another Fast Fact.